Chosen one, you can feel it in the air, can't you? The shift, the pull, the quiet whisper that tells you something sacred is unfolding. You're not imagining it, your spirit knows. The waiting season is closing. The long nights that tested your endurance, the prayers you whispered with trembling hands, the moments when silence was the only response, all of it was leading you here. This is not just another chapter, this is the moment, the one your soul has been prepared for since the beginning. Before we dive deeper, pause for a moment, breathe. Let your heart align with what's coming. This video is meant to find you right now in this exact moment of your journey. So watch this till the end because there are messages your soul has been waiting to hear. And if you feel this energy stirring inside you, write your warmest wishes and 777 in the comments. Let the universe feel your readiness. Let your intentions vibrate into the atmosphere. This is where wishes turn into movement. This is where faith becomes sight. Now listen closely. The moment you've been waiting for didn't appear out of nowhere. It was summoned by your persistence. Every tear you've cried, every time you got back up after being knocked down, every "I'll try again" whispered when no one was watching, those weren't wasted. They were signals to heaven, declaring that you were still standing, still believing, still becoming. And heaven heard you. What's unfolding now isn't luck. It's the reward for endurance. For so long you've been carrying seeds that no one saw. You planted in dry soil. You gave love where it wasn't returned. You kept faith when nothing moved. You looked at closed doors and still said, "It's okay. My time will come." That faith, that quiet strength. It didn't go unnoticed. Heaven wrote every sacrifice into your story, and now it's time for that story to turn. The energy around you is shifting from waiting to walking into. This is the beginning of the unfolding. You may not even realize how much you've changed. The same situations that once broke you no longer have power over you. The same people who once drained your spirit now have no hold. The storm didn't destroy you, it refined you. You learned how to stand in chaos without losing your peace. You learned that silence doesn't mean absence. You learned that delay doesn't mean denial. That's why you're ready now, because you've been trained in the waiting. The moment you've been waiting for requires this version of you, the calm one, the wise one, the one who knows that what's meant for you doesn't need to be forced. This is why the doors didn't open before. You were being shaped into the kind of person who could walk through them with grace, not fear. You've learnt to hold your power quietly, to move intentionally, to trust timing instead of chasing control. That's spiritual maturity, and that's what heaven responds to. You're about to see everything connect. The scattered pieces are aligning. The confusion is clearing. The pain is turning into understanding. You'll start to see why you had to go through every single detour. It was never rejection, it was redirection. Every no was making space for a yes that carried your name in divine handwriting, and now heaven is whispering, it's time. You might feel a strange calm in your spirit right now. That's not coincidence, that's confirmation. You're standing in the in-between, between what was and what's about to be. It feels unfamiliar because it's new ground, but your soul recognizes it. It's the vibration of destiny waking up. You're being positioned, not punished. What once didn't make sense is about to reveal purpose. You may have felt forgotten, overlooked, or even invisible, but the truth is, you were hidden for protection. You weren't ready for exposure when the world wanted to see you. Heaven kept you behind the scenes to build depth. And now when you step forward, you won't crumble under the spotlight because your foundation is unshakable. You're not stepping out as the same person who entered the storm. You're stepping out transformed. So when the moment arrives, and it will, don't shrink, don't second guess it. Don't say, but maybe this isn't for me, because it is. You've paid the price in patience, in silence, in faith. You've held on long enough. Now it's time to receive. You're not stepping into luck, you're stepping into what's been rightfully yours all along. The energy of this season is different. Things that once resisted you will start to flow. Conversations that once confused you will suddenly make sense. People who couldn't see your value will be shown your worth without your explanation. The ground beneath your feet is shifting from testing to triumph. What was once your wilderness is about to become your platform. You're going to feel a divine acceleration, doors opening faster, clarity arriving quicker, answers appearing effortlessly. It's not because you're lucky, it's because you're aligned. The moment you surrendered control, everything that was meant for you began to move in your direction. You don't have to chase it, it's already chasing you. This is the moment you've been waiting for, not a date, not a location, but a state of readiness, a frequency of peace, a vibration of gratitude. You've become what you were waiting for, and now that your energy matches your destiny, heaven can release what it's been holding. You may feel nervous, even undeserving, but that's how you know it's divine. What's coming next won't just look different, it'll feel different. It will carry grace, peace, and certainty. No confusion, no struggle, no force, just flow. You'll recognize it because it will feel like home. You've done the inner work, you've endured the silence, you've learned the lessons. Now heaven is saying it's your turn. Everything that's been delayed is aligning. Everything that was lost is returning in higher form. You don't have to try harder, you just have to stay open. The universe is already responding to your surrender. This is not the end of the journey, it's the beginning of the reward. You're about to witness what happens when divine timing meets unwavering faith. The moment isn't approaching, it's here. You start to feel something you can't quite describe, a quiet vibration in your spirit that tells you the air around you isn't the same anymore. It's as though the unseen world has started to move in your favor. You wake up lighter, more aware, more connected. Things you once overlooked suddenly hold meaning. Conversations you once dismissed now sound like prophecy. Even the silence feels alive. That's how you know heaven has begun to unfold what was written for you. Nothing is random anymore. Every glance, every word, every pause is part of divine choreography. The universe doesn't always announce the breakthrough with fireworks. Sometimes it arrives in whispers. A sudden calm in your chest. A thought that feels different. A coincidence that happens too many times to ignore. These are confirmations. Heaven's language isn't noise, it's precision. You'll know the signs because they will feel familiar, as if your soul remembers them from before you even got here. Every chosen one feels this moment before it fully manifests, the quiet before destiny speaks aloud. And while you wait for it to fully bloom, let this be your anchor. Everything you've prayed for already exists. It's not about asking anymore, it's about aligning. Watch this till the end and let this message settle into your spirit. Then go into the comments and release your warmest wishes with 777. Speak what you desire into the atmosphere with gratitude, not need. When you do that, you're not just hoping, you're declaring that heaven has heard you. This is the vibration of manifestation, where wishes turn into movement and faith becomes form. You'll start to notice that things begin to shift quickly when you respond with peace instead of panic. That's how heaven tests your readiness. Every situation in this season is designed to ask you one question: will you trust? Because heaven only releases what you can hold, and peace is proof that you're ready. The moment you stop fighting for control, divine timing steps in and starts working miracles in silence. Pay attention to the patterns. What once drained you is disappearing. What once delayed you is dissolving. It's not punishment, it's pruning. Heaven removes what no longer serves your growth, even if it feels like loss. The relationships fading away, the habits that no longer feel right, the doors that suddenly close, all of it is divine editing. You asked for abundance, not realizing abundance sometimes arrives as subtraction. You wanted expansion, not realizing expansion sometimes begins with isolation. But now you see it, the clearing was necessary for clarity. You're being positioned for a moment that matches your preparation. For years, you've been building silently, healing privately, evolving quietly. And now, the unseen work is about to be seen. You're entering the stage where destiny reveals what diligence has built. And when it happens, it won't make sense to those who didn't see your process. They'll call it sudden, but you'll know it was sacred. This is the season when heaven rewards your endurance. Every disappointment, every delay, every detour, they were rehearsals for the real thing. What's coming will fit perfectly because it was crafted specifically for you. You'll realize that all along the waiting wasn't empty, it was the sculpting of your spirit. The same patience that once felt like pain has become the structure of your purpose. The moment you've been waiting for isn't a single event, it's a continuous awakening. It's heaven saying, now. It's the universe aligning every moving piece to bring your calling into focus. And when it begins, it won't be subtle. You'll feel the energy shift in your body, your thoughts, your dreams. Doors you thought were closed will open without a sound. People who once overlooked you will suddenly remember your name. Opportunities that once ignored you will now chase you. You won't have to chase the light anymore because you are the light. You've become the alignment you used to pray for. And that's why this moment feels so powerful. It's not arriving from the outside, it's rising from within you. Stay present, stay grateful, stay open. Because heaven is not waiting for permission, it's waiting for readiness. And now, finally you are. You begin to notice the subtle signs first. It's not always the thunder of a miracle, but the gentle hum of divine order. The right people begin to show up. Those who speak peace instead of pressure, those who bring energy instead of noise. You start to realize that heaven never forgot you. It was arranging everything behind the scenes while teaching you how to see differently. What once looked like chaos now looks like choreography. The timing makes sense now. Even the delays feel sacred. You're not walking in confusion anymore. You're walking in confirmation. Things that used to weigh heavy on your heart now feel light, almost meaningless. The overthinking fades because your soul finally trusts. You've realized that stress doesn't speed up divine timing, it only clouds it. And because of that, your energy has shifted. The universe notices. Heaven responds, your atmosphere changes. There's a calm authority in your voice now, a quiet strength in your steps. You're not forcing blessings anymore, you're attracting them. Everything that's meant for you can finally locate you because you've stopped running in circles trying to earn what was already written. You begin to see divine alignment in real time, a conversation that opens a door, a message that gives clarity, a sudden pull to change direction that leads to a breakthrough. This is how heaven works, not with chaos, but with precision. Every detail is being handled by forces you can't see, and yet you feel it moving. Every delay, every silence, every no, it was protection, not punishment. And now that you've surrendered, the gates are opening. The signs are unmistakable. Dreams feel more vivid. Numbers, phrases, songs. They echo your prayers back to you like confirmations from another realm. You begin to feel a synchronization between your spirit and the flow of the world around you. Time feels slower, but everything's happening faster. That's how alignment feels. It bends reality to meet your faith. You're not chasing signs anymore. They're chasing you because your frequency has finally risen to the level of your destiny. You can feel heaven's urgency in this season. The message is clear. Move when you're prompted. The time for hesitation is over. You've been prepared for this. Don't overthink the next step. Trust that your intuition is now a divine instrument. The same voice that guided you through the wilderness is now guiding you into abundance. Every small decision made from peace will multiply in impact. You've spent so long asking, When will it happen? Now, heaven is asking, are you ready to receive it? And deep down, you know you are. The old fears don't hold power anymore. The same situations that once triggered anxiety now reveal wisdom. You've learnt to pause instead of panic, to listen instead of react. You've become so rooted in peace that chaos can't find a home in you anymore. That's how you know the shift is real, because you've changed internally before it ever showed externally. Everything you once lost is finding its way back in divine form. The relationships that fell away are being replaced with ones that nurture your growth. The opportunities that slipped through your hands are returning with better timing. Even your own reflection looks different. You see strength in your eyes now instead of exhaustion. You no longer see yourself as broken, but as rebuilt. Not a survivor, but a vessel. The waiting season wasn't a pause, it was a recalibration. Heaven was never servo testing your patience, it was testing your posture. And now that your spirit stands tall and your heart beats with peace, everything that's meant for you can recognize its home. The energy around you hums with purpose. The storm is gone, the silence has spoken. You've crossed into the moment that was promised, and when it fully arrives, it won't come as a surprise. It'll come as recognition. You'll know it was always meant for you, because this is the moment your soul has been whispering about for years. And you are finally ready to live it. You can feel it now. The atmosphere around you is charged, alive, almost electric. Everything that once felt far away has drawn close, waiting for your acknowledgement. The shift you've prayed for is no longer coming, it's here. You're standing in the middle of what used to be your dream, and yet it feels both familiar and surreal. This is what divine timing feels like walking into a room your soul designed. Long before your body arrived, you start to see it everywhere. The same people who doubted you are watching in silence. The ones who left during your building season are realizing what they walked away from. Even the energy in your surroundings has changed. It bends toward you, opens for you, moves with you. Everything is aligning with your frequency now because you finally stopped dimming your light to fit in. You're no longer shrinking to make others comfortable. You've become comfortable with being chosen. And the beauty of this moment is that it doesn't require validation. You're not proving anything to anyone anymore. You've stepped into a quiet confidence that doesn't need applause. You're guided by something deeper, something sacred. You know when to move and when to stay still. You know when to speak and when to let silence do the work. That wisdom is your crown. It's what the waiting built. Heaven didn't just prepare the opportunity, it prepared you, and that's why the doors are opening now. You've learned how to carry peace in the middle of pressure. You've learned how to stay kind when others were cruel. You've learned how to trust even when you didn't understand. That's why the moment had to take time, because destiny isn't given to those who rush. It's revealed to those who endure. The things that once intimidated you no longer hold power. You've seen the worst and survived it. You've walked through darkness and found your own light. Now even your steps carry authority. You move differently because you finally understand everything that was meant to harm you actually refined you. The tears watered your purpose. The loneliness sharpened your discernment. The rejection protected your calling. Nothing was wasted. And now the universe mirrors your healing. The blessings that once ran from you are finding you again, but this time, they recognize you. This is the reward for not giving up when it would have been easier to walk away. Heaven is returning everything you thought you lost, but in upgraded form, relationships with depth, peace that doesn't fade, opportunities that align with your worth. You don't have to chase anymore, you attract by existing. Your energy is the invitation, your stillness is the signal. The moment you stopped reaching in fear, everything started reaching for you in faith. And here's the truth. This isn't just a season of receiving, it's a season of remembering who you are. You're not someone who got lucky, you're someone who got aligned. Every step you've taken has led you right here to the moment that was always meant to meet you halfway. This is not the end of the story, it's the unfolding, the manifestation, the divine exhale after years of holding your breath. Heaven is whispering to you now, you made it, stay ready, because what happens next will confirm everything you've ever believed in silence. You wake up one morning and something feels different. The air seems lighter, the silence feels alive. You can't quite explain it, but you know deep in your spirit that something has shifted. It's not just around you, it's within you. You're no longer waiting for the moment you've been praying for, you're living it. The signs are everywhere, quiet but powerful. The timing is perfect, almost suspiciously so, as if the entire universe paused and rearranged itself just to meet you here. It's strange how natural it feels, how what once felt impossible now flows with ease. The lessons you learned in the wilderness have become instincts. The faith that once trembled has become unshakable. You've stopped fighting against life and started moving with it. You understand now that control was never your strength. Surrender was. You let go of timelines, expectations, and outcomes, and in doing so, you made space for miracles. The energy surrounding you has changed, and others can feel it too. You're no longer operating from lack or fear. You're radiating assurance. There's a glow that no hardship can dull. You speak softly, but your presence echoes. People look at you differently now, not because you've gained something material, but because your peace has become magnetic. You've stopped chasing validation because you realize that heaven already approved you long before the world noticed. You're beginning to understand that this moment isn't just about manifestation, it's about revelation. It's not that your circumstances suddenly transformed, it's that your perception did. You've become the person who can finally see the blessings that were always there. You recognize divine fingerprints on what once looked like chaos. You find beauty in stillness, strength in gentleness, wisdom in patience. That's evolution. That's awareness. And yet, even as this peace settles in, heaven keeps moving. The same divine hand that opened one door begins to open another. You sense that this moment isn't an ending, it's an ignition. This is the awakening of everything that was promised. The vision that once felt distant now breathes in real time. The people who are meant to join your path are being guided toward you. The resources you need are aligning perfectly. Heaven never forgot, it was always building quietly. This season feels like standing under a sunrise after years of night. You don't rush it, you simply watch it unfold. The light touches everything, your memories, your fears, your future, and transforms them into lessons of grace. You realize now that even the pain had a purpose. Every delay was direction. Every closed door was divine redirection. You no longer see any of it as wasted time. Every chapter, even the darkest one, carried something essential for who you are now. And maybe that's the real miracle, not that everything changed, but that you did. You've learned how to live without needing constant answers. You've learned to find joy without knowing what's next. You've learned to keep your peace even when you don't have control. This is mastery. This is faith in motion. This is what heaven has been waiting for, the moment where you no longer cling because you trust that whatever leaves will return in divine form. You start to realize something even deeper. Your story was never about reaching a destination. It was about remembering your power along the way. Every tear you cried watered the seeds of your resilience. Every disappointment reshaped your discernment. Every lonely night taught you intimacy with the divine. Now, as you stand here fully awake, you see that the entire journey wasn't preparing you for this moment. The moment was preparing itself for you. This is what happens when heaven's timing and human faith meet in perfect alignment. You stop striving and start receiving. You stop begging and start believing. You stop waiting for signs because you've become one. Everything that's unfolding now is the reflection of the peace you finally chose. Heaven isn't giving you something new, it's revealing what's always belonged to you. And that realization, the knowing that you were never behind, never forgotten, never unseen, is what carries you into what comes next. Because what's coming isn't just better, it's yours. The sky feels different now, not because it has changed, but because you finally have the eyes to see it. Everything around you hums with quiet purpose. The same streets you've walked 1,000 times carry a new vibration. The same air feels cleaner, lighter, sacred. It's as if heaven has taken an invisible brush and repainted the world in colours only faith can perceive. You stand in the stillness of divine completion, realizing that you didn't just survive the journey, you became it. Every wound healed into wisdom, every silence turned into understanding, and every moment of waiting transformed into power. You used to think the miracle would come from outside, a breakthrough, a door opening, a blessing, arriving. But now you see the truth. The real miracle was internal. The moment you stopped fighting the flow, everything began aligning around you. You didn't have to chase anything. What was meant for you began orbiting closer, pulled by the frequency of your surrender. That's how divine timing works. It waits until you are steady enough to hold what's holy. You've become fluent in heaven's language, the pauses, the whispers, the nudges that only make sense in hindsight. You trust your intuition, not because you know everything, but because you've learned that what you feel is divine direction. You've stopped doubting yourself because you finally understand that your discernment is a spiritual instrument. Every choice you make from peace sends ripples through the unseen world, rearranging everything to match your alignment. You are no longer just living life, you are co-creating it with the divine. And as this realization anchors deeper, you begin to move differently. You no longer rush to explain, to prove, to persuade. You simply are. The calm in your voice carries power. The silence between your words speaks volumes. You've learned that real authority doesn't come from being loud, it comes from being aligned. You're not fighting battles anymore. You're mastering energy. You understand that not everything deserves your reaction, and not every storm needs your attention. Heaven fights for you now because heaven recognizes its reflection in you. The people around you sense it too. They can't quite name it, but they feel something when you walk in. A steadiness, a certainty. It's the presence of someone who's been through fire and didn't come out burned, but refined. You've outgrown fear disguised as logic, scarcity disguised as caution, and doubt disguised as humility. You know now that being chosen isn't about being perfect, it's about being positioned. You were never behind, you were always being prepared. And as everything begins to unfold, you finally understand that waiting was never wasted. Heaven was timing the release with precision. If you had received it earlier, it would have overwhelmed you. If it had come later, it would have missed you. But now, right now, everything meets perfectly in the middle. Every promise, every sign of every answer you've longed for arrives, not in fragments, but in fullness. You stand at the intersection of divine timing and spiritual maturity, and all you can do is whisper, "Thank you." The breakthrough you've prayed for doesn't come as noise, it comes as peace. It doesn't roar, it rests. You realize the power of quiet miracles, the ones that happen in your heart before they ever appear in your hands. You no longer measure blessings by visibility, but by impact. The peace that anchors you now is stronger than any achievement. The fulfillment you feel isn't from what you've gained, it's from what you've become. You've become a vessel of faith, a living reminder that divine order never fails. You no longer chase blessings, you carry them. Every breath, every step, every heartbeat is a reminder that you're aligned with divine rhythm. The waiting season is over, but the becoming never ends.